Well, hello, staff, and for you, Mr. Reitzel, I'm speaking to you from the rectangular office of the high school. We talked earlier this year about maybe doing some of our staff meetings as flipped staff meetings, so that's kind of the purpose of this today. As you know, Monday we have an in-service day, and we will have a staff meeting at 8 o'clock that morning. And I want to talk about some of the things involving students and maybe some ideas we can do to help energize our students at that time of year when things kind of get slowed down and kids get a little disengaged from school. But as you know, one of the things I really think is important for learning is the relationships all of you have with kids. I think above anything else that we talk about, keep first and foremost your relationships with students. You know, what they get from school isn't from me, that isn't from the tools I give you, it's really from what they get from you folks and the job you do with them and the relationships you build. And so I continue to encourage you with that. And so some of the discussion Monday will involve some of the personalizations with you and your students and how we can improve their learning. But one of the things I wanted to really talk about come Monday would be we're losing a certain group of students, as you all know, during the middle of the year. We hit kind of that dead time starting about the January, and some students really just come from that point on. It seems like disengaged from school. They struggle academically. You all know us. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. And I'm really looking for some ways to minimize that or reduce that in some way to re-engage kids. It makes students get refocused, re-energized. One of the things from my past, and I hate to use coaching, but when I was coaching, and all of you that are in activities know that you'll hit some down times in your season, some stretches where kids are just, they're not practicing well, they're not focused. And one of the things I learned was that maybe if I changed some things up, did some things a little differently, maybe what to them wasn't really related to my coaching duties, but in reality it was, and got them a little more re-energized. And maybe one of the things we can look at is maybe some things, what can we do to help get the students out of their funks in that time period and get them refocused, get them re-engaged, get them re-excited about what's going on in your classrooms. One of the things that along that line is to, just to try to look at some activities maybe that kids would perceive as fun and enjoyable. Not that what you're doing in the classroom isn't fun and enjoyable, but to kind of break that monotony of wintertime with those kids. I don't know what that would look like. I really need your help on that. Would it be, do we want to take a couple days, 1, 2 days, whatever you guys think it might be? What do we want to do? Just something to help get those kids doing some learning activities that maybe they don't perceive as fun, but is fun. Maybe some things that you are teaching in your classes that you don't have time for, but you'd like to do more with. I've had staff members come to me and say, well, I'd like to teach taxidermy, or maybe it's canning foods. It can be anything. A number of you have come to me about these type of activities. One of the things in last year's PLCs, one of the groups was involved in something like this, and they'd come to me and talk about an interterm, kind of like what you do in college. Probably couldn't do that because it takes way too much time out of the class time and the school year. But maybe we could do a scaled down version. They talked about maybe doing some things with the community and certification. Some of you with at-risk kids had talked about some of these type of activities. So one of the things I really would like to discuss on Monday is just can we come up with some learning activities, mini classes if you want to call them that, something there in the winter time that we could break the monotony of school up. But again, keep in mind, I'm not saying what you're doing in the classroom is not valuable. I understand that it's extremely valuable to you. But I also understand that sometimes kids need what they perceive as a break, and we can still get some learning accomplished and get them to understand maybe some relevance to their education, be it that whatever it may be. Maybe it could be like I was thinking the other day of Mr. Bubak and how much he likes fantasy baseball and how much math is involved with baseball. And kids don't realize that there's all kinds of mathematics in baseball. So those are some thoughts I have, and I would like to, come Monday, break down in some groups and just have this discussion of what your ideas may be, what you perceive we could do, how we could do it. I need your input. I have this idea and this vision of doing something, but I don't know what it'll look like, if that makes any sense to you. And I really need value and need your input on that. And I know a lot of you, especially core teachers, you worry about your class time, and I'm telling you over and over. And I used to do this a lot when I was coaching, and I don't mean to bring that up again, but I used to always tell kids, don't worry about the scoreboard. Scoreboards take care of themselves. You worry about, learning your skills, learning your sport. And I would tell you the same thing as teachers. Don't worry about your test scores, the NESA scores, things like that. Those things are all going to work out. You do a great job in the classroom, and maybe if we can do something like this that would help the springtime, maybe it'll make even your classroom more valuable to kids, and the NESA scores will take care of themselves. So come Monday, plan on having a discussion about maybe some ideas on what we can do come that January, February time slots, and if you want to take a day or two, whatever it may be, and what it would look like. And so we'll talk about it on Monday. Thank you.